What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of My Reason for Rhyme. In this episode, I'm going to be going through the Bastos Boi album, and it's been 6 months since we dropped it. I'll be providing a breakdown of the lyrics and pointing out a lot of the Easter eggs. And since we've been releasing our mixtape catalog, I'm going to be pointing out all the scratch parts I did for this album as well. So let's get through it. So the Bastos Boi intros mainly comprise of a lot of these scratch parts. So a couple of them come from another classic, which I shot a music video for. Shout out to my guy Larry with Through the Lens for doing that music video. You can check it out on YouTube. It's on our YouTube channel. One of the scratch parts came from Soul Chalice song Certain Kind of Man, and Soul Chalice is the fusion band I'm a front man for. And we got a couple albums out on all streaming platforms. Definitely check that out. And then there's a scratch part from Hard Times, which is from the What's What mixtape. And I'll be releasing these mixtapes if I haven't already soon, so stay tuned. At each one of our projects, I like to put a tag on it. Each time it's somebody different. And this time in this album, I have my daughter saying the tag. And this is the first time you hear it, but it's going to be throughout the whole album. Now, at the end of a lot of these songs, I have somebody calling in, saying a few words. And at the end of the intro, this is where you hear a person that's supposed to be my aunt. You're going to hear this person for the first time, but they appear on the album frequently. And the first appearance, she's all talking. She's being really nice. She's kind of talking me up. Now, this person is playing my aunt, but I created this character from several people in my life. And like I said, she pops up several times throughout the album, so you got to hear it. The song Leftist Ideology, the first lines, I spent a lifetime waiting through the fog. The CPTSD still lingers like a smog. You said wake up and never looked in the mirror. Took accountability, it couldn't get any clearer. So here I set the stage, this is what I've been dealing with. To be frank, it's complex post-traumatic stress syndrome, CPTSD, and I'm trying to make sense of it here, Trying to understand everything I've been through, and I really wrote this song in response to some arguments my father and I have had. He says I have leftist ideology. But like I say in the song, he's so far right, like everything is left to him. The main point of this song is that I survived the years of neglect and abuse, which gave me the CPTSD. But I actually did the hard work to begin the healing process, and I did therapy. I did EMDR therapy in 2019. And I always tell people it's been an awakening. If you've seen any of my past videos, I probably talk about it, and it's really important to me. Now that I have my own daughter, I see how fucked up it was. I see how fucked up my situation was. There's no way I would let my daughter at 8 years old come home every day off the bus and be alone. Some days locked out of the house. I would never leave her unattended to fend for herself till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. That's the shit I dealt with at 8 years old. Here's one of many examples of why it's an awakening. Being alone for so long at a young age, I would try to stay up until someone came home. So it kind of forced me to be a night owl, most of my life. And I figured I was just a night owl for most of my life. Come to find out though, I'm actually a morning person. I love waking up early. I wake up at 4 in the morning every day. I don't need coffee either. I don't do coffee. Anyways, I know what it's like to be neglected and discarded. Like I don't matter. Like I'm a mistake. And I refuse to let my daughter feel that from me. And I know it starts with me. So I touched on that in the second verse. I say, this is my story. I'm gonna shine my light. I'm done being miserable. I'm gonna live my best life, make my life better, for my family that comes from me. And a great quote that I heard, don't let the family you come from destroy the family that comes from you. And so far, I've been a generational curse breaker, man. Also in the second verse, I touch on my nana coming home from England, which saved me from, further neglect and really became my mother. That's how I really got the hook. So she took over and she really taught me a lot of these things. You can call me what you want, but I learned some of these ideologies that goes against yours from your mom, from her. In the third verse, I go further in his mentality, and he won't admit it, but the real reason our relationship is strained is because he doesn't want to acknowledge his neglectful and abusive ways. He's either so unaware of himself or he's hiding it. Either way, it's no excuse to me. And for anyone who has anything to say about this, here's another one of my favorite quotes. If you could walk a mile in my shoes, you'd be crazy too. Now, at the end of this track, my good friend Chris Isaac makes an appearance. Shout out to my guy. Punch in the Face is based on a true story, and it's not a story about being a badass or nothing like that. It's a story about consequences of actions. May they be righteous or not, there are certain things that are gonna transpire, and that's both ways. So really, it's not just one event. Things can get dragged out, and in this case, I got dragged into court. And also I've made mistakes. I've dragged other people into my mess, which I displayed in the third verse. But let's get into some of the lyrics. Tap his nose and it bled. Fuck getting even. I'm getting ahead. I don't care about even in the odds. I care about beating your ass. And the way I'm gonna get ahead is by punching you in your head, by knocking your head off. What I'm gonna say is like, how you gonna provoke someone and then when you get punched in your face, you fucking call the cops, press charges, and try to get me hemmed up. But okay, I'll fight in the courtroom too. Let's go. I go on to say, fighting words. I heard what you said. That's why you got hit. And fighting words is a legal defense. Not saying that was my defense. I'm just pointing out if you're calling someone a racial slur, especially in an aggressive manner, like you're trying to engage combat, the idea is like it's a slap in the face, and now I'm gonna defend myself. Again, that's not the defense I use. I just wanted to see the guy stand on it in court, and I called his bluff because he didn't follow through. None of that shit. So literally, I got a slap on the wrist with cuffs, but also I got a slap on the wrist with laws because the case was dismissed and wasn't something that stayed on my record. So was it worth it? Yes, hence the hook. So that's basically how I got the hook. Was it worth it? It's at the end of the day, I got a slap on the wrist. You got a punch in the face, bitch. So that's actually called a refrain. For those that don't know, it's like it's a line or a phrase in a song that repeats itself, usually building anticipation and connecting the verse to the hook or chorus. And as often this serves as the title of the song, which is certainly the case for this song. And the third verse is a nod to a Biggie line there. She stopped, introduced herself, commenced the ass kicking. So the girl literally stops beating on the other girl, introduced herself, and then continues to beat her up. The Biggie line is, that's what I get for tricking, pay my own bail, commence the ass kicking. And this next line is a nod to Mike Tyson. I heard her roll with the punches, but damn, I guess before we get punched in the face, everyone has a plan. I heard her roll with the punches, but damn, meaning you was rolling around getting your ass beat, taking the hits. And I guess before you get punched in the face, everyone has a plan is a nod to Mike Tyson's quote, everyone has a plan before you get punched in the face. At the end of the song, my little brother makes an appearance, basically telling me mom's gonna be mad when she hears all this messed up stuff I put on the album. You Stupid is a song in which I actually had a hook in my head for years. I just used to sing this to myself, and I was finally able to put it down and get it together. It's a song about, in my perspective, it's about a rapper that's trying to survive in the music industry that's full of simplicity, low value, fake shit, especially, with AI and everything coming around. At the end of verse 1, I'm like, head down, perfecting my craft till I came up for air, feel the backdraft, flaming all these no skill, having ass rap cats. I've got my head down, perfecting my craft means I'm not doing anything but working on my art, nothing. I'm just got my head down, I'm focused, and I'm not letting no noise, distractions get in the way of that. Until I came up for air, I'm ready to let loose, I'm ready to let my art be seen. I'm ready to air it out, basically. Feel the backdraft, blaming all these no skill, having ass rap cats. Now, the term backdraft is actually a term used in fire situations, dangerous fire situations, when a fire is starving for oxygen, it's in a closed space, and then suddenly it explodes when it's introduced to fresh oxygen. That's actually a term, and that was actually a movie in the 90s featuring Kurt Russell that follows a few firefighters in the course of their duties, so check it out. So, what I'm really saying is I'm creating in the lab, perfecting my art, and when I'm unleashing, I'm gonna burn these other furious rappers. You stupid, doing too much, you can't recoup it. Doing too much, obviously you're saying that's been used, and sometimes you're doing too much, you're not gonna be able to recover from it, hence you can't recoup it. It's a loss essentially. you know. Third verse. It's too easy, you can't see me. No relation to Stevie. You're a Emcee Zoom dweeby. You can't see me, no relation to Stevie. And then I throw the ad-lib no wonder in there, like it's no wonder, but also Stevie Wonder. You know Stevie Wonder, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have the talent of him, you know what I mean? But also, you're not blind, but you can't see. Emcee Zoom dweeby is a reference to one of my favorite comedies, The Breakfast Club, and John calls Brian this in the movie. Later in the verse, you'll be laid up in the cash, the way you fell down and crashed after talking all that trash. They call you Mr. Glass. Crashing out is another saying now. So I'm saying you're really going to crash out and get hurt. Mr. Glass was a character from Unbreakable. It's a nod to the movie Unbreakable and Glass movie from M. Night. At the end of this song, Tita makes her entrance again, being condescending, telling me I'm no good, I'm not good at music, you know, it sucks, I should get an education. Your music sucks thing is always one of the first things someone tries to hit me with when they're trying to put me down. And to be honest with you, I think it's the most hilarious thing, honestly, because you think I make music for you? You think I'm seeking your approval? You think I'm seeking your fucking love? I don't give a fuck what you think. I do this because I love to do it. It makes me feel good. So your outside perspective don't mean shit to me. I do what I do because I love it. If someone can feel something from what I've created, cool. If not, no worries. Keep it moving. Now the song Dirty Dance, the first thing I ask at the beginning of the song is, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? That's obviously from the Batman movie from 1989, Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson character, the Joker, is the one who says that in the movie. So to be frank, this song is about smoking a marijuana laced with cocaine. And just to be real, you know, drugs and alcohol have been an outlet for me, you know, especially living with CPTSD. You know, I was experimenting and self-medicating at a very young age. But, you know, I lived in the South for like 7, 8 years of my life, especially in Florida. For most of that time, I was in my college years, and damn, that was a fucking fun, good time, good ride. I remember first time smoking dirty blunt, which was what we called a cocaine lace blunt, and man, that was a taste that was just unique as hell. Now, at the end of the first verse, I'm saying I'm waiting on my moment of clarity, and that is a realization that a change needs to come, needs to happen, you know, or is happening. And then the hook comes in, and it's inspired by that slang we use, Dirty Blunt and Mary Jane being slang for marijuana. So it's a play on Dirty Dancing and Last Dance with Mary Jane by Tom Petty. And then the second verse starts with, I got a dirty blunt, Trick calls it Bonk, and that's a nod to Trick Daddy and Trina, you know. They did a song called Nan. Trina says, hell nah, smells like Bonk. So I found out Bonk is like basically cocaine-laced weed. Got me some weed, got some blow, gotta put it in the Optimo. That's a nod to Ghostface's song Nutmeg. We've just been getting some noise lately because he's been coming out and talking about his approach and style for that song. I go on to say I'm feeling kinda slow, I mean strange, which is another nod to Big. This time in the everyday struggle when he says, the crack smoke make my brain feel so strange. At the end of this verse, I say a full meal or hors d'oeuvre, latter or the former, and vice versa, like Pastor Troy gets my nerves up. And that's obviously a nod to Pastor Troy and vice versa song. Third verse, there's no question I'm getting high watching Intervention. So Intervention is an award-winning TV series that follows the life and lifestyle of addicts. The irony here is that I'm getting loaded, you know, watching other people get loaded and then offered help. I go on to say, not to mention there's no tipping point, ashtrays overflowing, so what's the point? Success at the end of my joint, I'm on the brink. From the edge to the top, stop and I think I don't even really want to blink. So there's no tipping point and I don't even really want to blink. Tipping Point and Blink are both books, and I did write another bar for this verse, but I didn't fit it in here in this song. Tell the truth even when I lie, I'm an outright outlier. Outlier is another book, and I've read all 3 of these books. At the end of the third verse, I say, I'm not Nazir, but I'm sincere, and power is knowledge in the belly of the beast, so at least I got that clear. So that's a shout out to both Nas and Power from Wu-Tang's characters in the movie Belly. You know, Nas plays sincere and Power plays knowledge. So there's a whole deeper meaning behind this song, and the lyrics, like, it's like reminding myself I'm caught in the belly of the beast, you know, and I need to find my way out. And the scratch parts are from the verse I did to the song Finally Moving by Pretty Lights. So I did a remix version of this song on the MTSB mixtape, and that's going to be released very soon. My good buddy Armac makes an appearance at the end of this track. His dad is Filipino, pretty legendary guy. Peace, love, rest in peace. Armac right here is telling me you gotta wake up, I gotta snap out of it. You know? So you can have fun, be rude, bastos, that's fine, but there's a point where you're being disrespectful. You know? Stop that nonsense. And then it goes right into No Stranger. The first thing you hear me say, I gotta get up. You know, I gotta get up off my shoulders. I gotta get this money, get this paper. So get up off my shoulders is a nod to the movie Friday when Craig tells Smokey he better get up off his shoulders and sell Hector some weed. So I'm flipping my mentality, my habits. I'm not going to be a user per se, but a hustler, a fundraiser, so to speak. I have to survive. It means hustle every way. I know how to. It's every chance I get. Hence the first verse. I've gotta make ends meet. Hustle on the weekends, hustle through the week. I hustle on my third eye, hustle in my sleep. So right there I'm saying I'm dreaming up of ways of getting paid. I make her work for me, watch her birth babies, don't play me. Meaning I'm gonna be investing this money into something that's gonna give me a return for more money. Profit, which I'm referring to as babies. And I know how money works, so don't hustle me. Can't hustle a hustler. Probably be pushing product when I'm pushing up daisies, cause I've been pushing product, just not on the major. Major referring to major label, and then I added the ad-lib independent. I'm an independent artist and that has been putting out music on my own terms, on my own label. So when I die pushing up daisies, my music will still be available, so I'll still have product to push after my death. The second verse starts out with some illegal activity. Like I said, hustle anywhere I know how. I'm no stranger to this. And I go on to say, bad boys move in silence, but my work speaks for free. Meaning I'm not gonna be loud about the shit I'm moving, you know what I mean? I'm moving smart. My product, it speaks for itself, pretty much sells itself. But Bad Boys Move in Silence is another nod to the Notorious B.I.G. song. And that song is 10 Crack Commandments when he says, don't you know bad boys move in silence and violence? Take it from your highness. But it's also a nod to Shaheem in his song Real Bad Boys, where he says, real bad boys move in silence on the hook. And in the line, strive for greatness, but feed my raw human needs. Strive for greatness is a nod to LeBron James, which was like his catchphrase for a while. He's definitely inspired me with his work ethic, pushes me. The line raw human needs is a nod to Tupac when he's talking about his inspiration for writing music. It's like, Shakespeare when he does his thing, like deep stories, raw human needs. My raw human needs is I gotta eat, I gotta get by, I have to survive. And what am I gonna do to ensure that? Sorry, not sorry. Third verse starts out, hope I don't go back to selling yayo, which is a nod to E40's song, Hope I Don't Go Back. Where in the hook it goes, hope I don't go back to slanging yayo. I love that song, and it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite E40 song. There's rules when chasing the peso, and peso is currency in the Philippines. And I've been in the Philippines twice, and right now it's almost 60 pesos to the dollar. And I go on to say, I like to get in, get out when I say so. Meaning I know I can't stay doing it the wrong way. I gotta figure out the right way. And then I go into a basic day in the life, the basic day of my life. Wake up before the sun, push some weights up before it's time to have fun. Work a day shift, daddy duty when I'm done. Every other free second I have is spent on my dreams until the next day comes. Wake up and repeat, cause it's on me. I'm working out before the sun comes up, and I go into work, I put the shift in, come home, get my daughter off the bus, help her with her homework, help my wife with whatever she needs. Then when I finally get some free time, it's for this, it's what I love to do. And then I do it all again the next day. Later in the song I go on to say, remember when the best things in life weren't always free, because I didn't have what I have now, I had to pay for what I thought were the best things in life at that time. And like I said, I gotta figure something else out. I gotta find other ways of bringing money. And at the end of the song I say it's all about the cream, which is a nod to Wu-Tang Clan. I've been fortunate enough to see Wu-Tang Clan twice in the past few years, actually, and they've been amazing. The first time I saw them was with Nas and Busta Rhymes on the NY State of Mind tour, but Meth wasn't part of that lineup on that particular show. But I did get to see them on the opening night in Baltimore for the Final Chapter tour, and that was incredible. All members were there, of course, except for ODB. YDB was standing in for him. Man, what a show. Now, the scratch parts at the end of this song are from a song called Cash Flow, and that's on the What's What mixtape. Tita once again comes and makes an appearance, and this time she's scolding me, putting me down, telling me I'm a waste of time, blah, blah, blah. Now we're going to the first single of the album, Filipino Food, and this was the first song I released for this album. The hook is really how we eat in the Philippines. Breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, snack, you know. Every time you go to someone new's house, you gotta eat, you're gonna eat, they're gonna feed you, that's for sure. It's a big part of our culture. So I say in the first verse, I wake up in the morning, smell the longaniza, fresh steamed rice, leftover pizza, it's a mixed bag for breakfast. Okay, so longaniza is Filipino sausage. It's so good. And of course, we eat steamed white rice with every meal. I'm not gonna lie to you, we love some pizza, man. Always an open option for breakfast if it's around. And any other leftovers for that matter. Mom's frying eggs with the crispy edges. She don't really cook, but Lola made palabo. Man, there ain't nothing like fried eggs with some white rice. Oh man, it's the best in my opinion, and my mom has mastered the art of frying eggs. She gets the edges all nice and crispy. Oh man, all crisped up. Now, palabok is a variation of pancit, which is rice noodles. It's so good. And the thing that makes it different is just all the toppings that you put on it. Went to the Philippines, ate balut. Even my fam like, yo, what the fuck? Because, you know, some people are turned off by it, but I loved it. I went back and I've eaten it several other times when I've been. So balut is a fertilized duck egg, incubated for 14 to 21 days, and then steamed or boiled, and it's like street food. It is street food. For me, it tastes like soup. I love soup. I have to tell you, I did get the earlier staged egg, the 14-day egg. Man, you don't eat the entire thing. You just crack it open, you know what I mean, drink the juice out of it, and then you eat the soft part and dispose of the hard part. Ginisang ampalaya is bitter melon. I do not like that, but my mom loves it. Lumpia is the Filipino egg roll, and you know that's huge, famous. If you haven't had that shit, you need to. You'll be in love, I promise. In the second verse, I go on to say, I use a fork and a spoon. She still uses her hands. So eating with a fork and a spoon is so Filipino. Just, you know, it's just practical to me. The way, you know, the stuff we eat, the kind of food we eat. You know what I mean? Eating with our hands is how a lot of Filipinos eat. It's a way of connecting with the food and the culture, you know what I mean? If we're drinking Red Horse and I'm the gunner, you better be quick. So when I was in the Philippines drinking with the boys, we drank Red Horse, which is Filipino beer. They made me the gunner, so we all had one glass, you know what I mean? We all shared one glass, and I was in control of pouring the shots and handing that glass out for it to be drank to each person. So every time they drink, I have to refill it, hand it to the next person, fill it, hand it to the next person. So you gotta be quick. So I'm filling them up. We're getting drunk around here. I haven't been back since COVID, so I don't know how that works now. Now, pretty much the entire third verse is a nod to the movie Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Now I got my brother Jordan to hop on the track that said, "What you want to eat?" And then my lyrics go in there really similar to the dialogue in that movie. You know, when they first decide they want to go to White Castle. In our case, we're gonna go to Jollibee instead. Jollibee is the Filipino fast food restaurant. You know, it's really famous for its fried chicken, and actually critics are saying that it's the best fried chicken, period. We recently got them here in the East Coast, but there's only a handful of locations, DC, Philly, New York. So it's an hour and a half or 2 hours road trip one way, depending on where you are, you know what I mean? Unless you're in those areas, I guess. Highly recommend going. I'm going soon again. See you there. The Palabok intro is just a funny skit I put together last minute. I'm just geeking out over food. And at the end of the skit, I had my brothers making an appearance. And the way it plays out, Jordan and I are just getting back from our Jollibee trip that took place in Filipino food song. You know, then we're pulling up. We see my brother Chris, who's actually Jordan's twin. They're fussing at each other and whatnot. Probably sees Jollibee bags and trash in the car. And he's like, yo, you didn't get me any food? Yo, went and got food and didn't get me nothing? leaving? And I'm just like, nah, man, we left plenty over at Lola's. She made palabok too, which ties into the skit we just heard. And I'm like, I'll run you over there real quick. I'll take you over there, hop in the car. And then he's like, yo, nice whip. Yo, these tags set it off, which hops right into the next song, Black Tag. So black tags in Delaware is a status thing. First off, the black background on white characters just looks appealing, you know what I mean? Aesthetically looks good, just looks tough. Second, the lower the number, the higher the value, you know what I mean? So for example, number 6 was just sold in 2008 for $675,000. And in Delaware, unlike other states, you can keep your assigned plate number indefinitely, and you can even pass it through generations. Now, in general, these black tags are more expensive, so to even get one, you gotta be spending some dough. Now, the production on this song sounds like it's car speeding by, and you can hear it as soon as the track comes on. And in the hook, I say, you know where I'm from, because license plates usually display which state you're from. In the first verse, I'm saying, yeah, this one's about the clout. It's about showing off your power or whatever. I'm on my own route, no chasing, it's just Jason, it's racing. And this line I'm saying, I'm in my own lane, I'm doing my own thing, and I'm only in competition with myself. And that's in layman's for the lame ones. Layman's terms is simple language. I'm saying that's in layman's for the lame ones who don't get it. They switch lanes. I see the tags. We not the same, son. Meaning you're lame. You wouldn't understand. Yeah, I stay in my lane. You switched up. And I saw your tags. We're not the same. You know, they're not the same as mine. We're not doing the same things. The second verse starts. I'm out cruising for the night, pulling Philip out of sight like I might just let you see my tail lights. Meaning I'm leaving you behind. Windows down when I'm cruising. I'm loving the breeze. There's a method to the madness, man. You know my steez. Method to the madness, man. Method, man. You know my steez is a nod to his verse on Jizz's song Shadowboxing. Then I go on to say, I'm the pilot in the cockpit and my gunner got the beats. So here I'm saying I'm driving, but whoever is riding shotgun, I refer to them as the gunner, and he's got the beats, meaning he's a DJ while I drive. But I'm not gonna lie, this is a recycled line. I used it on another song from a long time ago. But I remembered it when I was creating this song, and it was like, it fits too perfect not to use it here. So I had to add it. But when I originally wrote that line, it was just a metaphor for my producer and I writing. You know, I write lyrics, controlling the narrative, and my producer got the beats, you know, my gunner. So it's really a nod to myself, triple entendre, really. Sticker automatic, brand new or classic, you better have black tags, kid. The scratch parts at the end of this song come from a song I did called Peace Delaware, and the original song was called Peace Connecticut by Apathy. Dope MC. My boy Joey makes an appearance at the end of this track saying some words. Acid My Lap is my attempt at making a shake joint track. Like I said, I have a lot of ties to the South, so I feel like it really comes out a lot in this track. You know, I slowed the hook down and gave it that sound. Right away in the first verse, I'm setting the scene. It's a night out with my wife. We end up at the strip club, which has happened on several occasions, you know. It's a good time. My wife is awesome. She's cool as hell. I go on to say in the second verse, she showed me that peck, wet. Peck is what Filipinos call girls' private part. Peck. The third verse starts out, look for Jessica Rabbit, not Lena Hyena. And those characters are from a movie called Who Framed Roger Rabbit, classic movie. It's a mix of animation and live action, and Jessica Rabbit's character is animated in a very sexualized manner, but she's a very strong and loyal character in the movie. Anyway, in one part of the movie, she's mistaken for another character from behind, and when she turns around, it's Lena Hyena, who is really animated kind of sloppy and unattractive and annoying. But you know, by the end of the song, I'm leaving with the person I came with, my wife. And I still ended up with ass in my lap and titties in my face. The scratch parts at the end of this song come from a song I did called Missing Bedrock Verse, which is just a verse I added to the Young Money song Bedrock. I recently released the mixtape it was on, and that was Time to Face the Music, and that's on our YouTube page, so check it out. The next song is the title track to the album, Bastos Boi. I came up with the concept for the album, but my producer actually came up with this song. I'm really proud of this track. It features Filipino artist Genesis Z, and that was really my idea to recruit him for this track. And again, Bastos means rude in Tagalog, and it's really just a label some people have tried to throw on me because I wasn't able to be manipulated by them or controlled, or they couldn't take advantage of me, you know, or they're just projecting their own insecurities and hate onto me. And this song is about being okay with whatever narrative that they try to push on me, because I know who I am, and your perspective is none of my business. And I say it right at the beginning of the first verse: a label can't stop me from winning. Disregard your perception, it won't stop my blessings. You have to talk behind my back to get people on your side to think I'm a bad person, but I'm okay with that. If you see me that way, I'm okay with being the villain in your story. But really, you should look in the mirror, because really it's a reflection of self-projection. At the end of the verse, I say, I was high, you went low, you call me Bastos, I be that like Reggie Noble. So here I'm really playing on the phrase taking the high road. When someone goes low, I was high, you went low. I was high, you went low, calling me Bastos. But I Be That like Reggie Noble, which is a nod to the song I Be That by Redman. And in that song, people are calling him all kinds of names, and he's just like, yep, I Be That. So definitely wanted to give him props on this song, since it's like a continuation of the same concept. In the second verse, I go on to say, you can bank on it like a checking account. They'll bring it up later with a shocker. Gotta charge it to the game. So this is another nod to Silk the Shocker, who released an album called Charge It to the Game. And here comes Auntie at the end of the song, put me down, trying to guilt trip me, tell me to die, fuck off forever. All the things that the character's saying to me are actual things that family members have said to me. So she might be an actor. I wrote the script and all the things I've heard from people. So you can tell me to die, but everyone dies, so try harder. Actually, that's how I start off the next song, For the Record. For the Record is about some family drama, and I think I've said all I wanted about this song in previous episodes, but I will say that the scratch parts are from a song called Won't Stop Me for the What's What mixtape. I Don't Really is actually one of my favorite songs on the album. The irony of this song is that it's a song about how much I don't care, but it's obviously I do because I tried so hard. So in the first verse I say, I stay in my lane, it's been a cold run, no love son, I wasn't missing nothing. Here I'm saying I'm going to do what I do regardless. I don't have to have love to do what I do. I don't even know what that is. Man, I've been here on my own since I was 7, 8 years old. I do not give a fuck about nobody's love. I give a fuck about my love for what I do. Here we go again. I'm my own best friend. That's a shout out to Beyonce and her song Me, Myself, and I. In the chorus, she says, I'm my own best friend. I love this song. It's my favorite Beyonce song. It's beautifully sung. She says at the beginning, all my ladies, but one of the fellas really appreciated that song, and it's actually helped me get through a lot of tough times, no lies. In the second verse, I say I'm doing what I do till I'm dead, and I'm not seeking any approval. And you don't have to pay attention. It's easy not to, you know. It's not helping me anyway, so bye. That's basically what the verse is saying. In the third verse, I say, ain't tripping off words that were spoken, cause I'm the soul controller. Let that soak in. Meaning I'm not letting words hurt me. I have tough skin, but it's also a shout out and nod to the song Soul Controller by Ghostface. And I ended it with, I used to be cold, but I could see myself getting colder. Whenever someone left, I said, fuck it, and shrugged my shoulder. And that's real, man. Like I said, man, I've been on my own since 7, 8 years old. People have been walking out on me since I was 7, 8 years old. And that's real. That's the truth. So I've known at a young age it's me, and I can only count on me. So I've built up that wall, you know. It doesn't matter if someone leaves. It's nothing to me. I'm used to that. It's kind of sad, but real. And here comes Auntie at the end of this song, trying to get my attention, trying to guilt trip me, being nice, saying she loves me, you know, basically manipulating me, trying to manipulate me. The next song, Smoking Aces, is actually my favorite song on the album. I feel like it's not really a diss song, it's a song about taking back what I created. You know, when I was young, I had an entire philosophy about playing cards and the suits and how it all corresponds to life. I mean, the main thing I guess you can take away from it was strive to be nice in whatever you do. So yeah, I put this group together, the 4 Aces. It's basically a rap crew, but one by one, they fell off until I was standing alone again, and that's fine. You can kill me in your way, but I'm gonna kill you in mine, hence Smoking Aces. And this track was produced by my guy Emcee Fontaine. He produced it, but my producer and I put the finishing touches on it production-wise. So I had to start off the song with the iconic cheer. Shout out to my guy Emcee blessing us with this one. So I start off the first verse with, it went from cuatro, tres to dos, and now it's just uno. And I know a lot of people might be like, yo, that's Spanish. I thought you were Filipino. Well, yes, Tagalog is influenced by Spanish, and it's a legitimate way to count, actually. Tagalog. The hook is everything I am, you know, even if it's just me, that's what I represent. Also, it's a nod to a song, Hurricane Starang, by the original Gun Clappers, or OGC, but it's really Starang won this song on the Storm album. If you don't know about Boot Camp Click, do your research. The entire camp is dope. Always love Boot Camp. If you know me, you know who my favorite rap hip-hop duo is. In the second verse, I say, it's time for a change, time for transformation. That's my club line, as the club represents nature. Came to a fork in the road and chose my destination. That's my spade line, fork and a spade. Spade is like a shovel, but it cuts, splits, hence split road or split decision. Put your card for revelation. That's my heart line, as the heart relates to the truth and revelation. Living good's my motivation. That's my diamond line. Relating diamond to the good things in life or living good in general. I go on to say, shuffle my presence in all sorts, meaning I can go anywhere, I can be good. I'm about to inspect the deck and take him to court. That's a nod to the intermission after the song Can It Be All So Simple by Wu-Tang Clan on their debut album. In the intermission, Method Man is kind of introducing the group, and the first person he says is inspect the deck, and he says that he'll take you to court, you know, after he watches someone play themselves. I thought it was a clever way to shout them out, add something to the song, and pay homage. Then I go on to say, oh, you were done? Allow me to retort. And that's a nod to the movie Pulp Fiction. Jules is talking to Brett. He says, you are finished. Oh, allow me to retort. And then he goes into the epic Bible quote, the path of the righteous man. If you haven't seen Pulp Fiction, I highly recommend it. It's on my top 10 movie list. But also I'm saying here, you might be done, but I have one last thing to say. Further on, I say, you can have love, luck, and money. I delivered the death card. Love is the heart. Luck is the club. Money is the diamond. And the death card is the spade. It works out because I was the spade in the group. Third verse, I start off 52 cards in the deck, but I ain't playing with a full deck. Not playing with a full deck is a phrase people use to describe someone who's crazy. One of my favorite lines from this album, if not my favorite line from this album, what you expect, hard to accept. I guess people change like the weather. I thought I needed brothers. Now we don't know each other. I'm good without you jokers. Something that I don't need, that's the only thing that's guaranteed. So jokers come usually two in a pack, and depending on the brand, one of them will usually say guaranteed. So I'm saying I don't need you jokers. That's the only thing that's guaranteed. Play to win, fold this hand cause I can buy in. That's a poker reference. Well, money spent, now I've got a 6 cents. That's a nod to the movie 6 Cents, and I'm saying these people are dead to me. This ain't politics, but the House of Cards that was repped is obviously a nod to the show House of Cards, also a literal house of cards, or in this case, house that I built. I guess it's best I destroy and rebuild it, and that's a nod to the song Destroy and Rebuild by Nas. In the hook, he says, this is the time we destroy and rebuild. So like him, in that song, I'm rebuilding my house. The scratch parts at the end of the song come from a song called Family, and that was on the What's What mixtape. My mom makes an appearance at the end of this song. She drops a famous Tagalog phrase, "Putangina mo," which is a swear phrase. The last song on the album, The Realness, was supposed to be a Soul Chalice song, but I took it for myself, and I think it fits perfectly for this project because, like I said before, it's a prequel album to the events of Soul Chalice, so it kind of points you in the direction of that style, you know, transitioning to the Soul Chalice albums. In the first verse, I say, it's that drastic Mac shit that just so happens it's everlasting. No gobstop, it's fasting. Everlasting gobstoppers are from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I'm not gonna go too deep into the lyrics. I'm just gonna point out some Easter eggs on this song because, to be honest, I wrote this song using a technique I call freestyle pen, and this is where I'm just trying to write a song fairly fast. I try to freestyle it by using a pen. To me, it's about flow and where that thought process is going to take me quickly. So in the second verse, I say, back for revenge, Eric Draven, not the Crow, this the Raven. Not only is this a nod to my favorite team, Baltimore Ravens, but it's a nod to the movie The Crow, and the original, not the funky ass remake. They should have never done that disrespectful ass shit. If you don't know, Brandon Lee, son of Bruce Lee, died on the set of that movie from a prop gun accident. They should have made a new character become the Crow, not remake it with Eric Draven, you know? Anyway, I love the original movie with Brandon Lee. In the third verse, I say, straight to the point, great debating, tip like a joint, just for bacon. If not mistaken, it's degrees, not separation, come together please. So straight to the point, I'm a straight shooter, so I'm good on debating. Tip like a joint, relating tip to straight to the point. Tip like a joint, just for bacon, so I'm putting a tip on the end of the joint to get baked. If not mistaken, it's degrees, not separation, come together please, meaning there's levels to this shit, but let's not let that separate us. Let's come together. So I use baking to bring in degrees and separation to give a nod to the game 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. But it also is a nod to the movie 6 Degrees of Separation. And it's based on a theory that any two people on Earth are connected, then no more than 6 people. And it's a theory that makes sense to me because of a book called Tipping Point, which I mentioned earlier. And in this book, the author writes about connectors. And connectors are people that spread information. You know, they have a big social network. I know a few people I would consider connectors. My pop-up ends the album telling me to call him back. I wanted to end it that way because not only is he my pop-up, he should have the last words, but it's like a metaphor. You know, the music is saying come back, and I will be coming back. If you got a CD of this album, it includes a bonus track and 4 clean versions of some of the tracks. You Stupid, Black Tags, Bastos Boi, and The Realness. The bonus track is called BFM, and it stands for Big Filipino Monster, which is actually one of my AKAs. My wife used to call me BFM when we were younger. It's actually a re-release. I originally released it as a single under a different name, Face Bastos, but I thought it would fit good on this album, so I remastered it, renamed it, and added it as a bonus track. Alright, y'all, this album is available on all streaming platforms. We do have CDs available. It's been 6 months. Let me know what your favorite track is in the comments below. Peace.